Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes, sir. We live in action. Live in action, man. All Ball TV, man. All Ball Fabian, man. What's going on?
You already know, man. We're coming off the crazy win,
Yes,
spanking
sir.
these Laker fans.
Yes,
You know what I mean?
big win for our Knicks, man. Beating the Lakers, which is always a blessing. Yes, yes. Just real quick, just watching a little bit of ball. Hey, man, this is why you can't trust Denver Nuggets. We know this is Nick Talk Tuesdays, but Denver down damn near 20 against Toronto. This is why they don't be the favorites. Sorry.
So I'm watching the Nets game. But what quarter's the Denver game in?
Shit, I think it might have been like late third or something like that. Yeah, but hey, this is Nick Talk Tuesdays. Forget the mother team. Let's go, baby. Let's go.
What's on the agenda?
Man, you know
The
this.
last win. We talked about it with Dom Dropper. Shout out to Dom Dropper.
Yes, sir. Yes, I mean, let's talk about the last 13 games. If I'm not mistaken, we 10-3.
Right.
So we can discuss um that the last 13 games. In that sample size, are we a threat in the playoffs? Should any team be ducking us? And can we get past the first round?
Cleveland, I think for first of all, shout out to Joe Rose. I was telling Joe Rose that there's no way Boston feels comfortable with us. They don't want it.
Right,
They don't want us to drop at a 7 seed.
right, right.
You could say anybody could say whatever they want. Boston is a in the same division with division rivals. That's number one. Boston versus New York. That's always been a thing. And on top of that, we got key players like what I feel about RJ Barrett. We'll get into that in a second. But he shows up against Boston. He's
Yes,
big time. Julius Randle. They love playing ball. I know with every team Julius Randle loves playing. Dallas, Sacramento, and the Lakers,
yeah,
Boston.
yeah.
So I think that's the team that wants to avoid us. Because Cleveland, as I know you say you ain't scared of Cleveland, and you'll get into that in a second, but Toronto gives us a matchup problem, bro.
Yes. But hold on.
Like,
Like I always tell you, I don't want to play Toronto. I don't want to play Milwaukee, and that's me being a realistic Knicks fan. I'm not one of these Knicks fans whose head is in the clouds. I'm a realistic Knicks fan. I've been a Knicks fan my whole life. I'm very excited about this season. But yes, I think, and I've been saying this before the season started. So whoever, think I'll let you know I'm not BSing. I'm not on no bandwagon mess. The only two teams that I kind of don't want to play is Milwaukee and Toronto. And Toronto, which I've always been saying, matching up with them is just a bad matchup. But Cleveland, Atlanta, Brooklyn, Boston, even Philadelphia. Listen, I'm not scared of those teams at all because to me, all of those teams is overachieving. I don't think those teams is as great as everybody making them out to be.
that's a great word. I think, like we saw yesterday with the Milwaukee game. I was watching that because you saw me. I recorded the with them fighting.
Right, right.
Giannis was having a field day. See, that's what we're missing against a team like Sacramento because they exposed us.
Yes.
But when we play Philly, we again another division rival. We love to play Philadelphia. The crowd, even though all the numbers say Julius Randle plays better on the road,
Right.
let's see Julius Randle in a hostile environment in Philadelphia because that's you know what, that's the number one topic for us too. That other day, forget before the Lakers game.
Right.
What about in the Clippers game when Julius Randle was kind of, you know
Yeah.
what I mean?
Yeah. When he just went off the handles a little bit.
Again, when does that happen? During stress moments, pressure moments. We don't want to see that. I don't want to
Right.
see that in Philly. I
Well, well, I'm sorry to cut you off.
no
This is
no.
what I need people to do. Give our Knicks the same excuses, the same proper respect I give everybody else. We didn't have our best player. So those 3 games we lost, we shouldn't have lost to Charlotte. But the Clippers and Sacramento, which is two great teams in the West, top 5 in that conference, but we didn't have our leader. We didn't have our best player. Some people may think it's Randle. My opinion, I think Brunson is the best player on the Knicks. So let's see how we look. This is what they say about every other team. Oh, they're not healthy. They didn't have their whole team. So we've been 10-3 without our best player and leader on the floor. So I'm not going to panic. Yes, Randle has to get it under control, but with our full team complete, I think we give anybody a run for their money.
I think the only issue I have when you say best player on the team is just maybe he's the most valuable player. He's definitely the most valuable player. Jalen Brunson is the most valuable player. And again, maybe I'm beating a dead horse, but it's because of what we saw last time with Julius Randle. He can't. Brunson doesn't do that. He stays in within his emotions. Even when he's having a bad game, it's still we've never really seen him flustered like that. And
Right,
again,
right.
we always point to that in terms of just keeping your cool, and we always respect the dude like that. Say whatever you want. There's always some rah-rah dudes that we always go, yeah, I hear you talking, dog. Like, you know what I mean? But there's always that calm, cool dude that gets respected no matter where they go. And that's Brunson for us. He's definitely the most valuable. Just that leadership skill, that chip, puts him over the top, man. It's totally necessary for the playoffs, and that's why we're excited. That's who we were missing 2 years ago. When we went to battle with Trae Young and them, and we
Yeah,
lost like that.
yeah,
That's exactly what we were missing, was that cool factor to come, calm us down and
yeah. Great
put Trae
point.
Young in his place.
Great point. And he has experience. He played with a super duper star. He
Mm,
has some experience now in the playoffs in the Western Conference Finals. So once again, we have a leader, a player on the team that can calm things down, that can get us under, um, and like I said, make the better decisions for the team. Because you see, the Lakers game, we was up 10, less than 2 minutes left, and we almost blew that. Because now when they had Schroeder playing some defense, we was coughing up the ball, turnovers. We was looking shaky. So Brunson brings, like, to me, he brings everything that we ever needed. And once again, I think we're going to make some noise in the playoffs, and that Garden is going to be rocking, baby. Woo,
yeah, that's
woo,
yo.
woo. Don't
If I
let him
get
get
my,
home court advantage, man. Oh
have
my
you been
God.
to a Knicks playoff game before?
I'm gonna tell you, I've been to two. One, I forgot one I've been to, but one I've been to was when Vince Carter was with the Toronto Raptors,
Damn.
and we played them. I think it was the first round.
Mm-hmm. I
Yeah.
think
Oh
Chris
my
Childs
God.
on the team.
Listen, nothing
Was
like it.
Oakley was on Toronto?
I think so. Yo, that was so
Wow.
long ago. But let me listen. Not, the tickets look even different. Like, yo, it's nothing like this. So I know this year. That's why I say, if we get us a Subway Series in the first round, hoo hoo hoo. Listen, man. Oh my God.
You see, and that's what I always told Dom about. Yo, there's nothing like building your team from the ground up. Because this is the Nets being built from the ground up, the Knicks
Yep.
being built from the ground up. It's
Yep.
a different feeling. And
Yep.
but mind you, it's just either way, if we're beefing with Philly and beefing with Philadelphia and Boston, imagine Brooklyn. New York versus Brooklyn, basically. Brooklyn feels like they're their own state anyway.
Yeah, that's a fact. That's a
So
fact.
that's ill. We know how to have fun. We know how to make things, engaging. That's what we always talk about. We want that feeling. That would be the best battle ever. That's the problem. Like, we need that. That would
Yeah.
be that was the whole plan, was when they built those stadiums to
Yeah.
get something like this in order. They
Yeah.
want that Yankees Mets
Yeah.
rivalry. They was silly to let the Dodgers go whenever amount of years
Right.
ago.
Right. Right.
So they need that, and we need that, because for us to be popping, I don't mind that. I want us to figure out who's who. That's when people say that, like, you know, I'm like, Dom thinks I'm big on, and maybe you think so too. I'm not big on playoff wins. Nah, I want to see my players under the most pressure. That's when I see their emotions. Imagine seeing the Nets 4 times. We have been, actually, the last 4 seasons, really
Right.
good. It puts your team under pressure. I want to see who's who, what's
Right.
what. And
Right.
you play them 4 times a year. That'll be, and then 7 game series, first round. I don't care what round it is.
That's
What?
right. Yeah. Yeah. Listen, man. I think, like I said, I think the Knicks have something special going on. In anything in life, you just gotta keep at it. So now we just gotta keep adding little pieces. I think Thibodeau has an opportunity to really steer the ship right. I still don't like him as a head coach, but he has a chance to change my mind. he really has a chance to change my mind. If we can finish down the stretch strong, let's just say we got 15 games left, and let's just say we can go 11-4, 12-3, and then we go to the first round and we get him and we get out the first round. Tibbs might be able to keep his job. I'm just
You
being
want that?
listen. No, it's not. It's not. It's not. It's not that I want that, but we have to be realistic. You can't fire somebody that has a good season and get us out the first round. So I think right now these next couple games is very important for the Knicks, and it's very important for Tom Thibodeau for us to build our confidence, and also for Tibbs to just continue to see what he can do right, and just keep at that. Don't focus on the negative. Focus on the positive.
I'll be shocked if he does his thing and turns it around. You know what I mean? And I think Johnny Bryant on the end of the bench for the Knicks. That's something that's always in the newspaper. Someone they always talk about replacing Tom Thibodeau.
Right.
Maybe he's part of that whole group and that cast with under Leon Rose. Maybe that's part of their plan. But again, that's why we want to see the biggest pressure moment. We want that Atlanta Hawks thing. To me, when the guy spit on Trae Young and everything, that was wild, because it was like, what are you doing? Like, we want competition. We want the guy to come in here, play the villain. We want to be the villain in somebody's court as well. So, but we don't want our own players being villains to our own fan base, which is the whole thing going back to Randle booing us and Thibodeau. If you don't make the right decisions, now you're becoming a villain to us. We don't want that. So, but we do need that environment. So, to see whether or not Tibbs can come and execute what you just said. You know what I mean? Because when else is he going to do that? I want to see him do it during the biggest pressure moments ever.
Right. Yeah. So let me ask you a question. How important was it that game against the Lakers to get that win? How important was that?
That was major, bro. We can't front, because now you figured out a way, like you said, regardless of what happened, we got the win. You figured out a way to win without what we just can come to a conclusion is our most valuable player.
Right.
On the court, he is the floor general. He's not just Patrick Ewing. He brings the ball up. He settles the whole offense. We figured out a way to motivate R.J. Barrett, to motivate Julius Randle against the Lakers. And let's not front like the Lakers weren't 6-2 going in there. They were 7-3 as well. Yeah. So that again was big time. So I guess that's what you're implying. That was a good thing.
Yes. I think that one was great. That one was huge. A lot of people may not look at it like that, but you got to remember the Lakers is fighting for a playoff spot, so every game to them counts. And then the Knicks, we was on a 3-game losing streak, so that stops our 3-game losing streak. So that game was very huge, and we was talking about that before. For the Lakers and the Knicks, that game was huge. So for us to pull off that win, that was great, man. That was great, and that also gives us confidence to show that we can play with anybody. We can play. Listen, basketball is a collective. Yeah, another team can have 1 or 2 better players, but as a collective, we can play better than those teams. So, for us not to have our most important player and pull off these wins, it says a lot about the organization, says a lot about the team, but it also says a lot. And we don't want to give them props, but what we do on AllBallTV, we give you props and you deserve it. It goes to show Tom Thibodeau, at this point, is doing a good job.
Right.
Doing a good job. You got to tip your hat off to him, man. You got to.
Yeah, because and that's the thing. People, they fake the funk. Like, I'm not, just because he won now, it doesn't mean all of a sudden it erases everything I thought before, because I'm keeping it real.
Right.
It might be living in the moment, but isn't that what being a fan is about? Like, stands they get me riled up for because when you're a stan, you're blinded by whoever it is. Now they're a god to you. The Knicks aren't a god.
They can't do no wrong.
Right. Yeah. So, the Knicks are the gods to us. Like, that's the team we root for, because they represent New York. That's really what it's about. Like, that's why I don't like that. Like, you a LeBron fan. I don't want to bring anybody's name up, because that turns into something else. Right. But all of a sudden, that means you a Cleveland fan, Miami fan, Lakers fan. What's this? Exactly. Like, I don't know. It's something. maybe considered tribal, call it whatever you want, but it's like, nah, I'm from New York. What are you talking about? That blue and orange is really in the New York flag. That's why the Mets got the same color. It's deep. And then you grow up. We don't know people's relationship if your father was watching, your grandfather, your uncle. That means something. And because of that, you might beef with him because your favorite player might be Dr. J in 1970, whatever, and now you a Philly fan.
Listen, this is what people have to realize. This is why us as New York fans, remember, some of us that's of age, like me, I'm 45. So let me explain why a lot of us is so much huge New York Knicks fans. Because y'all got to remember, in them 70s and them 80s, and maybe the 90s, right? You can actually see them guys and touch them. Like Clyde Frazier and them was riding around the city. Come on, man. Earl of Pearl Monroe and them guys, man. Come on, man. Was like you would see Charles Oakley and Anthony Mason, God rest his soul. You would see them guys outside in the club. You would see them guys out in the streets. Like you know how big that is, Pauls. Think that's why they said. Remember, big shout out to Zach, Chicago, one of our guys from Chicago. He said that's why in the beginning people fell in love with Jordan because you would see him outside in Chicago. So imagine being a diehard Knicks fan from it being from your grandfather to your great grandfather to your father, and you seeing Clyde Frazier, you seeing Patrick Ewing and Ant Mason, and like, come on. So New York Knicks for us, real fans, it hit different. It hit different.
We gotta get this dude, Jason Levin. Dom has me talking to these people. That's why I appreciate them because, I mean, they put me on the things I would have never known about, and they were so passionate about the '70s. Made me watch the Garden documentary from the '70s. How nobody was going to the games. They were throwing like cigarette packs at Phil Jackson. He was like, "What they doing that for?" It's like you messed up their parlay. Like they were gamblers smoking cigars, and it was like, oh, that gotta be real. That means it was real. It's like now people on FanDuel, like homie, what's his name? Ray on IG. Hilarious. You heard what he said about Kyrie, where he was like, "Yo, man, yeah, maybe you're right, Kyrie."
He messing up them tickets.
So imagine they were doing the same thing he was, but in person, throwing Phil Jackson a
listen,
joint.
Man, I know people that party with God rest his soul Anthony Mason. I know people that know Charles Oakley.
Right.
Like a lot of y'all can't say this about y'all favorite teams.
I used to go to Anthony Mason's barber on Hillside. What's Eddie's name? I forgot Eddie's name. Yeah.
Come on, listen. One of my good friends, a building that he's like the head porter. Remember, Clyde Frazier, 129th Street in Lenox. Bruh, he got the restaurant I don't think is there now. When he's down there, man, free meals. Right. You see Clyde shake your hand, so what I'm saying is for us as New York Knickers, it just hit different. Yeah. It just hit different, man. Right. And once again, the Knicks, we about that grit, that grimy, that New York street, the smell of cigarettes in the air, people yelling, the car horns, the cabs almost running you over. Yo, that's what we about.
Yeah.
Loud, arrogant, animated. We exaggerate everything. Hey, man, that's what we about. And I embody it. I love it. And I'm a Knick for life, man. Simple and plain.
So it's crazy you say that because that sounds like some sneaky genius marketing by Leon Rose, who I despise the last 2 years.
Same here.
But for him, his first agent, as an agent, he used to be the owner or an agent at CAA, where LeBron was a part of. He was LeBron James' agent. Right. That's how him and James Dolan got cool in the first place when they were having talks 12 years ago. Right. Okay, fast forward, Jalen Brunson's father, Rick Brunson, was Leon Rose's first agent. Now what he do? He gave Jalen Brunson a shot. Obviously conspires to bring him into New York. But you bring Tom Thibodeau, who's on the bench in the '90s, to catch this feeling, because really it's a brand. Like that's why I get a little upset with that's why we get upset about the kids when they disrespect the past. It's like, I don't like how they talk about Patrick Ewing. Like, say what you want about him as a head coach for Georgetown.
Yeah, I don't care about that. As a player, come on, one you'll ever see, man.
He built what the Garden is now.
Listen, I tell the young dudes, you remember, they want to YouTube everything. I go YouTube Patrick Ewing. Just YouTube him. Like, listen, man, defensively tough, offensively tough, carried a city and a team on his back for 10 plus years.
Yeah.
And we was relevant every step of the way.
Yep.
Eastern Conference Finals. And if you really think about it, our Knicks today, what they're doing is, you got to remember, they're implementing that. Remember,
Right.
today's game, you can't be really so rough and tough. But right now, the team we have is reminiscent of the John Starks Knicks. I'm trying to tell you, we are one piece away. We are one piece away from being title contenders.
I agree.
So, I just think this year and down the stretch right now as Knicks is very important. It's very important to finish strong, to keep riding high. I think Brunson should get as much rest as possible. We need him fully healthy in the playoffs. We need him fully healthy.
Yeah.
And but right now, I think this is the New York Knicks time. I'm gonna give you an example. And this is what's wrong with us as New Yorkers. We just have to be patient. We just have to be patient. I'm gonna give you an example. Golden State Warriors. I'm not saying we're gonna win 4 or 5 championships. I'm not saying that. But you see how patient they was with Stephen Curry and the whole organization? Build through the draft, get some good trades, acquire some good players, good coaching staff, good coach. We just have to be patient. We have something to build on right now. So let's not go berserk. Remember, if we don't make the championship of the Eastern Conference, no. It's called progress, not perfection. Big shout out to Denzel Washington. I seen that on the Equalizer. I never steal nobody's stuff. Progress, not perfection.
You just sample it?
Right now, of course. Right now, we have something that we can build on. And I just say, as New York Knicks fans, please, let's just be patient. Because it's a process. Go ahead.
I want to ask you a question, what you just said. Did you feel like we were one trade away before the Josh Hart trade?
No.
Okay.
No. But no. Before the Josh Hart trade. Yes. I got Josh Hart mixed up with Brunson. I'm sorry. Before the Josh Hart trade, yes, that's why I was so adamant on getting Donovan Mitchell. If we no,
go ahead.
Listen to what I'm saying. I'm saying if we were, because the initial news was we will be able to get Donovan Mitchell and keep Barrett and Randle. So what I'm saying is, if we would have had Donovan Mitchell right now and we was able to keep Brandon, Randle, we still have Brunson, we still have Quickley, and maybe we would have had to give up, let's just say, get rid of Fournier contract, let's say Obi Toppin, let's say Grimes, let's say maybe somebody else in 5 picks. Yes, I right now think we would be the second best team in the East. I think we would be better than Boston.
Nah.
My opinion.
Yeah, no, I'm with. I think even if he has the perfect defense for him right now, because now Jared Allen is like a no frills Gobert, and now he didn't Gobert.
But what you mean? I think Jared Allen is better than Gobert.
That might be a good point. So it makes my point even better, because what Gobert never had was somebody like Mobley to complement him. Right. Somebody like a Mobley and like a I might be risking something to say this, but Anthony Davis when he's healthy, the guys who can go switch on anybody. That's Mobley. Jared Allen needs that because he can't do that. So that Donovan Mitchell has that in Cleveland. I don't see him, if that's what he has defensively in Cleveland, I don't see him doing anything. Like, I don't see him elevating us to the second or first seed with this current team, especially once you get rid of all these players around them. You know what I mean?
Let me ask you a question. Right now, if the starting 5 was Brunson, Mitchell, Barrett, Randle, Mitchell Robinson, we still got Quickley coming off the bench, and let's just say whatever other couple players. I'm taking that, bro.
Quickley changes things. Because that's a guy that I love since last year. We saw his talent, but I'll take it. I'll take it.
Okay, so I would say, sorry for cutting you off. Okay, so I would at least, all right, so I would be realistic. If we had that lineup, it would be Milwaukee, Boston, then us. It's Philly and Cleveland, Atlanta. You can forget about them. We better than all of them with that lineup. I'm sorry.
The starting 5 is good. It will be good, but I think the bench would suffer. And also, that's what I'm saying. Darius Garland now, I don't think they complement each other like that. Darius Garland
And
and
Mitchell.
Donovan Mitchell. And
Yeah,
Donovan
yeah.
Mitchell and yeah, and Donovan Mitchell and Brunson, it'll be tough because they both need the ball. Like they both really do a lot with the ball. And they both set their other play the other they both like shooting guards to me. They're more shooting guards than they are,
Yeah,
you know,
yeah.
running.
I agree with that. I can agree with that. I
So
can
you
agree
wouldn't,
with that.
yeah, that's why I think it was so genius what Sacramento did. They got Malik Monk as a bonus, 2 point guards on the team to complement that two guard and De'Aaron
Yeah.
Fox to me.
So let me
So
ask you, but go ahead.
nah.
So let me ask you a question. What kind of player do you think the Knicks need right now to get them over the hump to becoming a championship contender?
See, you know I love Mikal Bridges, but he's not the over the hump guy.
Right. Now what I'm saying is we need one over the hump guy. What do you think we need? I know I have, I mean, if it take you a little time, this is what I think we need. We need either Karl Anthony Towns or Joel Embiid.
I mean, Joel Embiid would be crazy.
No, but it's not. But see, this is what people need to realize. It's not impossible. You got to remember, Karl Anthony Towns is not happy in Minnesota. If Philadelphia don't get to the Eastern Conference Finals, worst case scenario, how long until Embiid go get me out of here? Remember, he's going to want to go to a big market. So it's going to be LA, New York. I'm just saying big markets. Chicago. I'm just, big markets. I don't think that's far-fetched. But I think the Knicks need a player like that. If we get a big man that can stretch the floor, that can be dominant, and that can give you some offensive points, we championship. We're championship.
What made you bring up his name though? Because once you said that, I'm looking up his contract. And is he a free agent at the end of this year?
Who?
Oh no, he's a free agent. Okay, 26 in 2027, he's a free agent.
Who?
So you're looking at Joel Embiid.
Right.
So be looking to trade for him then.
Right. Yes. Why
So
not?
what pieces would you go for?
To be honest, you can have anybody you want. It's Joel Embiid. So if you want, let's say you want, all right, let's say Barrett, let's say Sims, let's say Grimes, let's say Fournier, another player and 5 picks. Take it. Take it.
You know a player that came to mind that's crazy, and I just want to get your thoughts.
Okay.
What if you replace like a RJ Barrett with a Jimmy Butler?
I like that. I would do that. Yes. That also, you know what? That also would put us, I don't know if that'll put us over the hump, the championship contender, but that's definitely putting us up there with Boston. I don't know if we'll be better than Milwaukee, but that will definitely shoot us right up to either second or third seed. That's definitely shooting us past Cleveland and Philly. Now, with Boston, that'd be a nice little matchup. So, yes, I like that. But I still think we need a big man that can stretch the floor. Because as much as I love Mitchell Robinson, he's so underrated. His defense, offensive rebounds, just rebounding. But he literally gives us nothing offensively. So sometimes you need that big man that you could throw it down to on the block where he could command some type of double team to get some shooters wide open. Remember, we don't have that. They don't even double. Remember, Randle don't even post up, so we don't even have nobody that you got a double team.
Right.
So all our shots is tough shots. We need some easy shots.
See, I guess I say that because, like I said, if you have Tibbs in mind, to me, it's just I sound like a broken record, but he wants a bunch of guys that rebound around Brunson.
Yeah.
And just like with Derrick Rose, was it Luol Deng, Kirk Heinrich?
Yeah.
I forgot what the center was. It was Boozer. You had tough, gritty dudes going for the rebound.
Right, but remember, we can say what we want, but at that time, Carlos Boozer would demand a double team.
Right.
Remember, we don't have nobody that commands a double team.
Right.
Even if Randle gets it on the block, you kind of know he's going to shoot a fadeaway. So, like I said, all of our shots is tough shots. We don't have nobody that's going to get us an easy shot. Even when Brunson is working, remember, it's still a tough shot.
Yeah, because that's the thing with Brunson, that at the end of a game, he gets exposed because he is small. Like Trae Young,
Right.
Brunson, Garland, all these guys are still little. So they're going to get exposed. So that is the thing with them. But I think it all, like if we're going to have Tibbs there, you gotta get players that fit his mold. So someone like Cat, you think Cat could play? Because I don't even think Cat can finish with his right hand going left.
Right. All right. That's understandable. But Cat still demands a double team. So that means Brunson. That means Quickley. That means Randle. That means Barrett. They're going to get open shots. All I'm saying is it doesn't even have to be a caliber of that player if we can't get him. I'm just saying we need somebody on the block that can command a double team. Once again, it seems like every shot Barrett and Randle takes is a tough shot.
Yeah.
How long?
And similar spots on the floor. That's true.
Right.
And they're too congested.
So how long can you go with every shot being a tough shot and not getting no easy shots? After a while, that's going to take a toll on you.
Yeah.
And this is when down the stretch you tired, you making mental mistakes. Remember, now when you get the ball, how many times we seen Randle at the end of the game, instead of just going straight up and dunking it, now you tired because all game it's been tough shots.
Yeah, and there's no real skills. But they did. So Cat might be just trying to think how many rebounds he averages. Cat, I mean, it's a look.
Because think about it. Think about if Randle is on the block, right? And he's killing somebody on the block. You got to double team him. Now, if he's getting double teamed, this is when Quickley, Brunson, Barrett is getting wide open shots. This is why you can't play Fournier. As much of a shooter he is, how is he getting easy shots?
Right.
He can't create his own shot. He ain't got a handle like that where he's going to get by you. You'll strip him all day.
Right.
So you can't even really run a play for Fournier because nobody's going to double team nobody on the Knicks.
Cat was averaging, he's getting ready to come back from Minnesota. He's averaging 28 this year, close to a block a game. And that block will help us too. Just him being 6'10", 7 feet tall, it helps us on defense. And it creates more, offensive possessions because that's what Tibbs want at the end of the day, suffocate you on defense.
Right. And, and he could create space on the floor because he can knock down a three.
Yeah, he's I don't say he's up there with Dirk and them, but percentage-wise he is, like for three-point shooting.
So,
and again,
so remember, he's that second tier big man. So of course we're not gonna put him up there with Anthony Davis and B Joker. But then when you get that next tier, he's right under them. He's that next tier. So once again, if we don't have to lose much and we could pick up Cat, listen, man, that's a different ball game.
Yeah. It's something.
Right.
And spreading the floor is what you need on offense. We just don't have that. Especially, I love Jericho Sims, but he does a lot of bonehead plays, still low IQ. He's learning the game. And again, he don't spread the floor.
Jericho Sims, man, I'm very disappointed because he can't stay on the floor. I've seen games where Jericho Sims literally committed 4 to 5 fouls in less than 5 minutes.
Yo.
Like, and it's just like, it's sad with a young man, with that type of physicality, ability to not be able to stay on the floor and contribute.
You know what? Nah, that is sad. My bad. You know why? Also, we should go after Karl Anthony Towns because that Minnesota GM. If Danny Ainge got him.
Oh yeah, he's sweet. Yeah, man. Listen, man, we might be able to get him for nothing.
Right, and then we got to. We said yesterday we have to include Mark Cuban just for F's sake for a three-way trade. Exactly. Get both 2 for 1, baby. But I like that. Sounds good.
Yeah, but also I don't think Cat is happy over there, man. Like you got to remember. Now that these young players is playing for their organization, they get the bag. These dudes want to win. Even if they don't want to win a championship, they want to be relevant. You want to be able to make the All-Star game. You want to be able to talk smack. You want to be able to always know every time you play, you can win a game. To me, that's Ant-Man's team. I don't think it's the kind of play he is, I don't think there's no room for him and Cat. I think Cat needs to get out of there. And I think the perfect spot for Karl Anthony Towns is the New York Knicks.
I like it. I was trying to think of some other names to rattle off. But I think that type of player, he's going to make a lot of money, 50 million, 54 million, 58. You don't want to count anybody's money, but it is what it is. He has a player option for 60 million in the year 27-28. I like that, for everything we just mentioned. How about Porzingis?
Yeah, right. I don't want nobody that don't want to be here.
Even now, because I think he regrets it.
Hey, that's what happens sometimes. Stay where you at and keep regretting it.
I would entertain Porzingis for the right deal because in this lineup, like you said, to stretch the floor, I'm trying to see what the big difference between him and Karl Anthony Towns would be.
All right, but let me ask you a question. What would you give up for Porzingis right now?
Couple second round picks, maybe Grimes or something like that, but I think it would be less than what Karl Anthony Towns
Yeah, but you're not
would
listening.
be.
Come on, let's be realistic. Washington is not taking Grimes for no Porzingis.
They might.
Nah. I mean,
Whatever.
I don't.
What do you think that Karl Anthony Towns will be fetching from Minnesota?
I mean, you could take R.J. Barrett. You could take 2 more players and some picks.
Damn.
Yeah. He big, especially if he want to be here. Take Karl Anthony Towns, take Grimes, take Sims, and you might take Obi. And take 4 picks.
Karl Anthony Towns with Randle there, 6'10", 7 feet guy on defense. I think he would do a lot more on defense than R.J. Barrett too, just by being on the court.
Listen, when you getting all-stars or superstars, you got to give some things up. That's the game. You can't expect to get something for nothing. And right now, the Knicks have an opportunity to take that next step. This is the first time in a long time that we are very solid and we have an opportunity to take the next step. How long are we going to continue to keep waiting?
And again, Karl Anthony Towns is not like he's right-handed. He shoots from different spots on the floor than R.J. Barrett. Damn, I think we would like it. I just don't. His demeanor though, I don't like Karl Anthony Towns' demeanor.
Okay,
Like,
listen, I understand that, but all right, look at this lineup: Brunson at the 1, Quickley at the 2, Randle at the 3, Cat at the 4, Mitchell Robinson at the 5. You got Josh Hart coming off the bench. You got Harkinen, the big left-handed guy, and now you get players. You try to get some. You try to bring some guys in that's been waived, that's kept themselves in shape, that can still play a little bit. Listen, I think we have an opportunity to really because a lot of windows you may get sometimes. I say between a 2 to 5 year window before another team just takes that major leap. Like, look how out of nowhere Milwaukee, boom, right? Now, with Milwaukee being as good as they are, look how many years they have had now to where they just popping. You cannot allow that to happen again, and then you just sit and just watch. We have an opportunity. If we have an opportunity to make a move, like me personally, I would have went and got Zach LaVine. I'm mad we didn't get Zach LaVine. I really am.
who would you have given up for Zach LaVine?
Well, if I'm not mistaken, we was able to keep our core. We didn't want to put Grimes in there. I'm saying, why would we not want to include Grimes if we have Josh Hart? So I would do a straight up trade Zach LaVine for Barrett. Or if you want to throw Barrett and Grimes and maybe 2 picks for Zach LaVine, I'm doing that. Yes.
And where would your expectations line up at that point?
Eastern Conference Finals. Maybe the finals, depending on if somebody get hurt. Sometimes in life, things got to go your way. So like I said, I'm a realistic Knicks fan. For me, it's progress. Zach LaVine puts us over the top to where now we in that 1 through 4 guaranteed. It's Milwaukee, it's Boston, it's Philly, Cleveland. We competing for that Philly, Cleveland, and us. Like I said, I'm trying to go way past Atlanta. I'm trying to have it to where Toronto, Atlanta, Indiana, Chicago, they're not even in our rearview mirror. You see how Chicago and Boston, nobody else is in their rearview mirror.
Right.
I want that feeling as a Knick.
I think that's a great point because we can't expect to be Boston or Milwaukee when Boston or Milwaukee, come on, that's top 5 players. So when you can't do that, you got to be a Toronto competing 3 years ago, and all of a sudden, Kawhi's available. Not to say Zach LaVine is Kawhi, but he brings that surge. You go, we expect a ceiling. So I've always said that. Hey, when we were starting to sign like power forwards for 2 or 3 seasons, about 3 years ago when Leon Rose first got here, it was all to clear up cap space and whatever. But I think that always keeps you competitive. And it's like, again, you got to be creative when you don't have Giannis, when you don't have a Joker.
Yeah.
That's just what it is. That's
Yeah.
why someone like I always point to Jimmy Butler is important, because they help us, like, for them to compete in the playoffs against those guys. Remember what Jimmy Butler did against LeBron in the championship.
Come on now.
Say what you want, it's the bubble, but nah, he came out and he still does that. One shot away last year.
Look what they did against Giannis in them.
Right.
You understand? So I'm saying this. I'm not saying Zach LaVine is Giannis and those guys, but sometimes some teams, they're just missing a certain piece. Remember, our Knicks, we don't have that explosive guard that can get you 40 on any given night. That's 40% from the three-point line and is exciting where they catching alley-oops, dunks. Remember, that's supposed to be R.J. Barrett. That's supposed to be R.J. Barrett.
Yeah.
He's terrible at the free throw line. He can't guard nobody. He's very inconsistent. Now, if Barrett can play how he played against the Lakers every night, then all bets is off.
Or more often.
Yeah,
real quick with real quick with Zach LaVine. I forgot that Tibbs had him traded because Tibbs was the general manager at Minnesota and traded Zach LaVine to Chicago. To Chicago.
Right.
And he said, but he said the last time he played the Knicks, me and Tibbs are cool playing against old coaches. I'm going out there to win. It's not a grudge thing for me. My grudge game was the first time I played the Timberwolves. I got that out of my system already.
Now, if you could, while you up there, try to Google the last maybe ever since that, let's just say the last 10 games, what is Chicago Bulls record and look at the numbers Zach LaVine has been putting up. Come on, man. So our Knicks, sometimes in life, you got to go for it. Now we have money now. We ain't in no bond. That what Phil Jackson did to us is crazy. We climbed out of that. Come on. Now we have an opportunity, man, to really make some noise. And I'm very excited.
The last, how many games you want to go back?
Let's just say the last 10 games.
Okay, 1, 2, there, 1, 2, 3.
Because was it 10? But just say 10.
They look like they're 5-5.
Okay, but what has he been doing?
He's been, so last 10 games, 36, 29, 42, 27, 41, 17, 27, 32, 18, and 35.
Come on now.
Yeah.
Come on now.
Since
and the 5-5 is a good record for that Chicago Bulls team because that team is not, come on now. You see them numbers?
Yeah, since February 1st, he's been averaging 28 points, 4.5 rebounds, 3 assists. He's shooting 40% from 3.
50. What I just said.
Hold on a second. 53% from the field is crazy.
Hey, man. Old Ball know what he be talking about. Listen. Now, Matt, listen. That's my point.
And he creates his own shot.
Thank you.
He was an all-star the season before. And he brings that New York flair. We know what he did in the dunk contest. One of those at the Garden at any time would be insane.
Let me explain something to you. He did a move a couple days ago where he did the head fake like this, crossed over, and like a lightly windmill two-hand dunk. We don't have nobody that can do that.
No.
So, and that's why I was excited to try to get Donovan Mitchell because I'm like, listen, the way the league is today, you have these combo guards, right, that are very exciting and very explosive. From Steph Curry with his threes, from Ja Morant with his hops, from Donovan Mitchell with combination of threes and hops, even with Trae Young where he could shoot from deep. Like, we can go on and on. Drew Holiday with his lockdown defense, Halliburton with his, he can get you involved. He can give you 30, but the way he dished the ball almost like magic. Yo, De'Aaron Fox with his speed. Dame Lillard, he crossed from, as soon as he take one step from half. We need one of those. In my opinion, Zach LaVine is one of those. And sometimes you have to be on the right team in the right situation. Now, just imagine Zach LaVine on a team. Why do you think the Lakers were so thirsty to get him when those talks was going on and on and on? Yeah, he's one of those. It's just he's on a losing team.
Yeah. and everybody can't be Donovan Mitchell. Like Donovan Mitchell is clearly better than Zach LaVine.
Right.
He's healthier.
Right.
And he puts more pressure on the defense. I think he's just a better player. So I think he's a guy that can take your team to the playoffs. Zach
Right.
LaVine isn't that. He's a total complementary piece. But you talk about complementary. How you averaging 50% from the field, 40% from three, and like who does Chicago really have?
Come on, talk. Hey, preach, Fade,
That
preach.
I would have loved that trade. I
Trying
would
to
have
tell
loved
you.
that trade, especially depending on like I said, I fell out of love with RJ Barrett. I was giving him a shot last year, but maybe defensively would have had an issue. I want to know what the beef is between someone that talented under Tom Thibodeau and just getting rid of him, because I guess that was for Jimmy Butler then.
Well. I mean, I'm being honest. At that point, I probably would have traded him for Jimmy Butler. Also at that point, remember, defense was really like probably strict at that time. Like right now, if you're a player that can't play defense, but you try to make the effort, I don't think they hold that against you as much as they did maybe 5-6 years ago.
Yeah,
But we can agree from when Zach LaVine started in the NBA, where he was quote unquote just a dunker, to now he's an all around player. He's gotten better every year.
yeah,
And once again, I'm if I'm the Knicks, see what our problem is as New Yorkers, we fall in love with our players and we make it personal. See, we like Barrett because we feel he's homegrown. But if you have an opportunity to get better, for me, if I'm the Knicks, I'm trading Barrett. You could take Barrett, Grimes, and I would probably give you 3 picks. Give me Zach LaVine just to make it sweet to where there's no complications. I don't want to have 30 talks. I don't want to do none of that. Here you go.
right.
To me, that's a good enough offer. Take Barrett, which is a young up-and-coming star. Remember, now you can build around Barrett and the young kid. That's the point guard over there, White. So you know you can do that. But if I'm the Knicks, take Barrett, take Grimes, take 2-3 picks, and give me Zach LaVine, and we rolling. We rolling.
I like it. I like it.
We
What do you think
rolling.
about what do you think's gonna happen today with Portland? Your man, your favorite player in the world,
Dame
Dame
Lillard,
Lillard.
is he playing?
I thought it said he was playing. Give me a second.
Right now, we in 6th place. Knicks. Yeah, we in 6th place. Who? What? We 40 and 30. Who's in? So who's in that 5th place? Is that Cleveland?
The Nets.
What's Nets record? We 40 and 30.
The Nets are 39 and 29. The Knicks are 40 and 30. Cleveland is 43 and 27. So we're a
And
game.
the Nets is looking like hopefully they'll lose tonight. They down 7, but it's only the end of the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, OKC's an up and down team.
So yeah, but no. But what I'm saying is, as long as the Nets and Miami keep losing a little bit, we really need to get that 4th spot. We need home court advantage.
Yeah, because Philly looks like they're gonna lock up number 3. We know that they're hot as hell. They're the hottest team in the league. They won 5 in a row.
Cleveland is up and down.
Yeah.
So
Cleveland.
all right, so give me the standings real quick. And what is it? Is it Milwaukee, Boston, Philly,
Cleveland, Brooklyn?
Okay, Cleveland. What's Cleveland's record?
43 and 27.
Okay, yeah, they got us by about 3-4 games. Okay, that 4th seed is gonna be tough, but we can catch that 5th seed with Brooklyn. Because right now, if Brooklyn lose tonight, we should be tied for that 5th seed, or they may have us by like a half a game.
If they lose and we win, we got the spot, because they're 39 and 29. We're 40 and 30.
Okay, now tonight is a very important game. Is Dame Lillard playing?
It says 8 hours ago, Dame Lillard has been upgraded to available for tonight's matchup.
Yeah. Denver losing, 28 seconds left. They down 110, 125. This is why you can't believe in Denver. This is exactly why. This is why Toronto is going to be a tough outing. This is why that's why I want to duck them. I want us to be the 4th. I want us to be the I want us to be the 4th and Brooklyn be the 5th, and we get that Subway Series. But it's looking like we're going to have that 5th seed, and so that means we're going to play the 4th seed, which would be Cleveland.
No, 4th seed is the Nets. No, I'm sorry. You're right. You're right. Right.
Because the Nets would drop down to 6.
Right.
Yeah. I think tonight this is where the Knicks should be able to come out strong, get the game over with early. We should be up double digits in the first quarter.
With Dame in there?
Yes, Portland is a bad team. Listen, Dame been playing the last couple games and they've been losing. Portland is a bad team. It just seems like they don't even care no more.
You think he's going for 71?
Nah, he probably give us 30 plus, probably 40, but I think this should be an easy game for us. This should not be a struggle game. See, this is where we show if we're getting prepared for the playoffs.
We need to see a back-to-back performance from Randle and
Barrett.
Barrett.
Yes. And Quickley. Yes.
Right.
Yes.
Got to see it quickly. What can you do again? Because that was amazing. Again, the worry about Tibbs is that he's going to run these guys to the ground as well. Man, that's another guy too for this. For today, I think it's Immanuel Quickley on defense. See what he can do on offense. But really, it's defensively. He's the guy. He brings problems to that team. See when Josh Hart playing his old squad. Right. Oh, Cam Reddish. I want to see if Cam Reddish.
Right.
There's a whole, there's a Cam Reddish stand base out there.
Listen. This is tonight. See, for us Knicks, every game is a big game. And tonight, we have some headlines. Cam Reddish going against his team, his old team. Josh Hart going against his team. Dame Lillard. I want a big game. This is what I want tonight. I want Barrett and Randle 20 plus. I want Quickley to play good defense on Lillard. He need to give us 15 plus. And I need a big game from Mitchell Robinson. I need a double-double with 3 blocks. That's what I want tonight.
Who's going to stop Mitchell Robinson?
Let's make a statement.
I love it.
Let's make a statement. Games like this, you make a statement.
You have to. And Josh Hart going back in there, I want to see. I say Julius Randle's going to go off. Yeah. Portland's defense is horrible. This is what he loves for lives for these moments. I see he's going to have like 8 3-pointers.
Yeah, a game like tonight, everybody should shine.
Yeah.
Portland is terrible. Defensively, terrible. So with our Knicks, we need them to come out strong. Don't take this game for granted like we did Charlotte that night. Come out like gangbusters.
Yeah. I love it.
Yeah.
So they come on at what?
10 o'clock. Well, right now they doing the pre-game. Game come on at 10 o'clock. Hey, man, Knicks talk, man. I love it, man.
Knicks talk Tuesdays?
Knicks talk Tuesdays, man, where we strictly talk Knicks.
Come on now.
We going to talk everything about the Knicks. It doesn't have to be the game before or the game coming up. We could talk Knicks history. We can spend an hour on, greatest Knicks moments, worst Knicks moments, your favorite Knicks player, the player you hated the most for the Knicks. Knicks talk Tuesdays, man.
There's a lot of players, man. What's my man? Landry Fields?
Listen, we're going to be talking Charles Smith, Rolando Blackman, Derek Harper, the mad face, the dog killer. Come on, man.
Yo, Marcel Smith. Shout out to Marcel Smith.
Oh, man.
I didn't catch what you said. I didn't catch what you said earlier. You said you agree with something. I'm not sure what you agree with. He said y'all are right on point. I appreciate that.
And tell him before we get out of here, what did he agree on so we can, and let him know, anybody that want to come up here with us, man, hey, man, we the good guys, man. We invite everybody. We show love. So, but what was he talking about before we get out of here?
Should I throw the link in the chat so he could pop up?
Of course, throw the link in the chat. Why not?
Listen, look, you heard, we ain't scared. We ain't scared, Marcel Smith.
The spread is 2.5. Now, what? Look, the spread is 2.5. Money line 136. The total is 228. It's gonna go over. Damn, 114. That's a lot.
Without Brunson, yeah, but there's no defense.
But they got Dame Lillard. Yeah, I'm taking the over, and I'm taking the Knicks to cover the spread. We should be favored by more than 2.5, though.
You think so?
Hell yeah, man. We talk about we 10-3 in the last 13 games. Portland's been terrible.
So it sounds like it's a lot of people that have been betting on the Knicks, and they want people to start betting on, on Portland.
Yeah. And I understand they got Dame Lillard, who, like I said, he could go for 50. Yeah. Look, hold on. We got 12 games remaining, 6 home, 6 road. Yep. We got 1 back-to-back at Miami, at Orlando. We got 2 games versus the Heat. And our winning percentage, 0.484 opponents. We 23rd in the NBA in that. But we have 12 games left. 6 road, 6 home games. Out of those 12 games, we need to go 9-3. If we go 10-2, that'll be even better.
And get us into the 5th seed or 4th seed that you want, right? Above, no,
It's gonna
5th
be
seed to go play Cleveland.
Yeah, it's gonna see. I want that. See, Cleveland is it for us to have that Subway Series. It got to be what 4 and 5. That's not gonna happen. So we looking like we're gonna jump over Brooklyn because Brooklyn gonna lose tonight. But if we stay in the 6th seed, who do we play?
The 76ers.
So either way, hey man, listen. Either way, it's going down. We ain't ducking no smoke. We either gonna have Cleveland or Philly. Let's go, baby.
Yeah, we don't want to drop down to 7 and lose 3 games where Miami is at.
Yeah, but I don't think we doing that because remember, Miami is not looking too good. So that's what's helping us keep that 6th seed in. By Brooklyn losing, we're gonna jump that 5th seed and we should stay right there.
So would you be interested in tanking to go play Boston in the 1st round?
No, I don't want to tank. No. We play whoever we could play.
You got to go in there strong. I'm just trying to see if we could choose our opponent.
I don't mind Philly in the 1st round. I don't mind Cleveland in the 1st round. I really don't. I'm not scared of them.
I'm not, but I want to guarantee a rivalry game. If I'm James Dolan, I'm fixing it. I'm trying to lose a couple games to get to play Boston because that'll be a 7-game vicious series.
So you want Boston in the 1st round?
Yeah, I want to guarantee 7 games against Boston. To me, that's the craziest. Right now. I mean, Philly. I think Philly got the worst. They're the craziest fans ever.
Listen.
Philly fans are the worst.
Much as I love Boston, Philly in the 1st round is going down, bro. Joel Embiid. So remember, see Boston, the fan base I love, but Jalen Brown and Tatum, they ain't like that as far as like talking smack. Remember, Joel Embiid, every game, he going to be talking mess. He going to be talking to the crowd.
Guess who it is? Guess who Marcel Smith is? I'll give you 2 guesses.
Don't tell me it's Rockstar Mel.
No. One more.
I don't even want to guess no more. Who is it?
It's Turbo. What up, boy?
Turbo, what up, man?
What up? What's good? What's good?
What's good, man?
Yeah, you gotta remind. I'm on my tablet instead of my phone. It looks kind of weird, but I'm gonna I try my best to next time do it on my phone.
Yes. All good.
I don't think it looks weird.
It's all
What's the
good.
difference?
Now it looks a little slow on my phone. You know how like on different tablets it's slow. It's slow on a couple of seconds because I'm watching y'all on my phone. Y'all like
Got you. So Turbo, real quick, man. Appreciate you chiming in. Like I said, what we trying to do, and you could tell everybody. Remember, on this app here, it could be 8, 9 of us up here at the same time.
I know. This is dope. I've been saying that we needed to do this. Like, when March Madness and the playoffs come, we can have a little preview show, a little after party. That would be freaking dope.
Yeah. So let me ask you a question, because on Tuesdays we just strictly talk Knicks. Knicks talk Tuesdays.
I know.
Give us your opinion on some of the things we was talking about. Also, tell me, how do you feel as far as like the Knicks season and what can they do to get over that hump? Like, what trade would you like to see?
You know what you just said about the Zach LaVine would have been freaking dope. Like his leg at the Garden would be crazy. He's built for the Garden. If he can play like that in Chicago, what he could do at the Garden,
right?
It would be legendary. It would be like Latrell. It would be like Latrell Sprewell 3.0.
Wow, I like that. Listen.
I thought he went too far, but all right.
No. What do you mean? What do you mean? No, there's some similarities.
No, the electricity. I like this. This is why I like that, because him and Latrell Sprewell have similar games when Latrell was kind of like at his height. Both slashes, both can shoot, and both was athletic. I like that, Turbo. I don't know what Fabian, but I like that.
Listen, I was a Sprewell guy. So I loved him when he was in Golden State. Then when I remember I was getting ready to go to school, and on Sports Center, big rest in peace to he passed. He was
Stuart Scott.
Yeah, Stuart Scott broke the news that Patrick Patrol Sprewell was coming to the Knicks.
That was huge.
I was go ahead.
No, this is my beef. This is my beef. No. The rumor was when I was in 6th grade that we wanted to trade John Starks for Latrell Sprewell. I was going crazy.
Everybody was. I remember the papers and everybody was going crazy.
Nuts.
They do that. Da, 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 da. They bring in a bully. But then when I thought about it for a quick second, because you know when you see something, you be like, yo, what? But then you got to take a moment, be like, wait a minute.
No. Yo, hold on. I'm not. Me and All Ball disagree. I'm one that grew up. I hated John Starks. No, respectfully. When they wanted to get Sprewell, I couldn't believe it. Sprewell with that, and they were all going bald. Well, he was bald at the time. With Mason, that's what the Knicks were missing. Because remember, they let X-Man go. That's the reason why we lost to the Rockets.
Xavier McDaniels, yeah.
If you would have so when you say Zach LaVine is like Sprewell played hardcore defense.
That's a fact. But no, I'm just talking about the athleticism and the electricity what he can bring to the Garden. Not that we all know Sprewell is a way better player. Let's not get carried away.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But I feel like at that time when I was like, yo, this is kind of weird. But then I was like, yo, this is what they needed. To me, I felt like they should have traded him 2 years ago. And I had this talk with All Ball when I did a series on one of my lives on, because a lot of people blame Patrick Ewing for not winning the champ. I'm like, yo, it wasn't really his fault. He just didn't have enough players around him. And I said this, that 92 Knicks team was the best team that was a threat to the Bulls.
Yeah,
I have said that too.
Easily. They made, you know what happened, right? Did you read Blood in the Garden?
I heard that story.
So X-Man and Patrick Ewing had the same agent. So he called Patrick Ewing. He said, yo, Boston offered me such and such. He's like, yo, do what you got to do, man. We grown men. Pat Riley was livid because they were trying to trade. It was a guy from Orlando, a center from Orlando to the Clippers. And they wanted him so bad to get Charles Smith in that deal. Stanley Roberts. Right. The Stanley Roberts was holding up a deal to get Charles Smith, and because that took so long, it too much time passed before they could sign a deal with X-Man. So X-Man signed with Boston. So all because they were chasing Charles Smith, it made no sense. Like I didn't mind a Charles Smith signing, but if you got X-Man and Charles Smith coming off the bench, now we talking. Yeah, but you let X-Man go. Yeah. That's part of the fiber of the team. Again, going back to Josh Hart, you need players like that. You need players that feed into the tip system. Go back to Sprewell. They feed into the culture. You know what I mean? I always love players that do that for us.
Good point.
I felt, in my opinion, and I said this on one of my lives, I felt like I said
what live? Hold on, Turbo. You always say one of my lives. What lives we talking about? IG?
On Talk With Your Boy on my IG live show. I'm trying to
say it. Talk with your boy.
Yeah, Talk With Your Boy.
Now my live. Say where's that IG? Talk with
so people
boy.
can follow me.
Oh yeah. Okay. My fault. I wasn't trying to make this all about me. I just wanted to come in here.
Hey, Turbo. Listen. You family. Okay. Anytime you want to plug, remember he telling you to do that to plug yourself. Hey, one thing with us, we have no egos, bro. You see how we are. I don't care about none of that. Yeah, you family. Come on now.
Yes. So on one of my episodes on Talk With Your Boy, this was like months. I can't remember what episode it was, but I remember I said that I respected Charles Oakley and John Starks, but I felt that they waited too long to trade those two. I felt like they.
Follow Turbo on IG. Talk with your boy. Stop playing around, Turbo.
Yes. It's Turbo 615. That's my original.
Turbo 618. Got you.
615.
615. Sorry.
615. Yeah. I felt that they traded those guys too late because around that time when y'all got Allen Houston and Larry Johnson, I felt that was the time y'all needed to move those two. And I felt that y'all definitely could have been a threat that year. I think that was the missed opportunity for y'all to get to the finals that year.
That's a great point, but I'm gonna just say this: those Knicks teams. Let's not forget, every time we went to the championship or to the Eastern Conference Finals, all we did was lose to better teams.
Yeah, that's a fact.
But let's not forget, we went out fighting.
Oh yeah,
we always went out fighting, and that's what New York City represents. So a lot of these Knicks teams, this is why we get excited because all we saying is compete. That's all I want you to do is compete. I don't want to get blown out by 40. I don't want nobody disrespecting us, giving us 50, talking trash. No, compete. So I don't really get upset that we never won a ring because we lost to the better teams every time we got there.
Oh no, that's a fact. That's a fact.
So, yeah, but what you said is a great point, though.
But no, but I'm just saying to make, sometimes you got to make if standing pat can be good,
right?
And then sometimes it can be a bad thing too.
Yeah, good point.
Because I felt like with the talent that y'all had, y'all needed some speed. Y'all needed some speed because you needed speed to beat the Chicago Bulls. You needed some speed to beat them.
Shout out to your man, School, all ball. We always talking to DM. He goes crazy. I think what you're saying, Turbo, the Bulls were built for the 90s. Like, to me, they were a super team built by the general manager. You got Horace Grant is totally underrated right now.
Oh, that's a fact. That's a
right?
fact.
He don't get mentioned in nothing when we talk forwards. That's
nothing. And the thing is, Jordan, Pippen, and Horace Grant are playing defense at that time. Yes. You really weren't beating them. They didn't go 7 games for a reason. Now, remember, the reason why we were smashing the Bulls is because they let us play ball. Jordan, there's a game where he scored 54 on us, but he didn't score not 1 point in the paint because he knew in the paper they was bragging about him, whatever. And the shot chart, look at it. I'm gonna pull it up and I'll show it to you, Turbo. I'll send you a DM. Yeah. No points in the paint because Oakley and them said it in the paper the day before. Listen, that's my man. Don't come to the host tomorrow because they called everything for you in game 5. We ain't playing that with you, Mike. Right. But so they let them play ball because that was the counter to that finesse kind of game. Yeah. But going back to your Patrick Ewing point, if you talk to the 70s guys, there's a real big rivalry between or an argument with Clyde Frazier or Patrick Ewing, who's the best Knick ever. And it's tough because Clyde Frazier never had to carry a team like Patrick Ewing. Also, Patrick Ewing, he broke the record for blocks in a championship against Akeem Olajuwon. They never talk about that. So Akeem did his thing. He is Akeem Olajuwon. We salute him as a top 3 center ever.
When you look back at that series, you know what hurt them the most? It was the guard play. The guard play really messed y'all up.
Sam Cassell and them dudes and Mario Elliott and them. But John Starks went 0 for 12, if I'm not mistaken, in the 4th quarter.
Yes.
That was the game. That was the game. He kept shooting. That was the game. I don't care what nobody say.
I heard the story when you said about the book, and I saw the audio on YouTube, and I heard that why Londo Blackman didn't play because he asked Pat Riley if his wife can travel on the team. And you know how Riley can be stubborn, like, yo, you really gonna ask me that question at this point? All right.
Right.
I'm gonna teach you a lesson. And I think looking back on it, that was a bad move on his part.
But also, I think that was the fiber of the team. There's a reason why Old Ball's a John Starks fan, right? Like I just didn't like him being so streaky. But looking back on it, how much better can you get at television? Him headbutting a referee or headbutting, like that was it.
But at the same time, y'all wouldn't get to the finals without John Starks. He did
great
big part. Yeah. And I hate to get off the topic because it's kind of similar to what Nick Anderson had to go through because he still takes the blunt on the blame of them losing to the finals, but he was a key component of them getting to the finals because he had the guard, like you said.
Turbo. That's you know what I said.
Reggie Miller, Jordan, like come on, that back to back, that's a tough situation.
You know how great of a point that is, Turbo. In that same book, that book is amazing. In that same book, they talk. It starts off with a wild story with X-Men that I'm not gonna say right now. Maybe some other time.
I already know.
Yeah,
I already heard about the fights and I already.
Listen, not just the fights. Next Tuesday we'll talk about that.
Next Talk Tuesday, the X-Men story.
That fight. Oh yeah.
But what you just said right now with Nick Anderson, John Starks went through the same thing because he went 0 for whatever in the 4th quarter.
Crucified, man.
Yeah.
Pat Riley called him out. And a Christmas game, I think it was the next season, because John Starks was out of it. He goes, "What the fuck you still talking about? Thinking about game that 4th quarter still?" And Starks was still like flustered by it. Because remember, say what you want, the head coach means everything. Pat Riley commands respect.
That's a
so
fact.
they love Pat Riley, and that stuck with him.
He bought the attitude to New York. He bought that grit, and I didn't know until my uncle, he was on on something. He was like, "Yo, you know Pat Riley is from upstate New York, right?" I was like, "Wow, I did not know that." So he's a New Yorker. And then the funny part is, him and Kareem played against each other in high school. How crazy is that?
Oh, see, I didn't know that.
They played each other in high school.
Another New York.
They close to the same age. They're like 2 or 1 year apart from each other.
Oh, okay.
Another New York story is him and not the helicopter, the destroyer, Joe Hammond, the destroyer.
Right.
They were going out for a starting spot on the Lakers or a backup spot on the Lakers. Remember, Pat Riley played for the Lakers. He beat him out. Yeah. But Pat Riley to this day will seek, if he sees Joe Hammond in the building, he'll shake that man's hand and goes, "Yo, you supposed to beat me out that day." He respects Joe Hammond like
legendary.
That.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I heard the story about Pee Wee Kirkland getting the offer from the Bulls, but I didn't know about the Joe Hammond situation. They were saying that he should have came out of high school. That's how good he was.
A lot of them got. I think. I don't think it was Moses Malone. I want to say Pee Wee Kirkland is actually the first guy to start talking about some sort of deal that these guys have, where they could have came out from high school, but they didn't. It wasn't as slick, and like he had one of those offers. He just didn't go because we know the whole story. He was in the street and everything.
Right. He laughed at that money. Yeah, he said,
right.
What's this? I made this in a day. You talk about
but you got to look at back then. The climbing and everything was was different back then compared to now. I mean, the '60s and the '70s, you can't compare the '60s to the '70s because everything got a little bit better. Bit better.
Fact. Yeah. Well, listen, man, the game is on.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah. So, hey, man, it's a pleasure, man. We've been over hours, so we went past because we got our family turbo up here. But listen, man.
Now, this was some good. This is some good Nick talk. This is
and what we do, Fabian will always send out the link, and whenever guys want to come up, like I said, man, we trying to get all this traction over to YouTube because once again, this is where the money is being made. So, like I said, we just trying to build a platform for all of us, man. Like.
Listen, I'm all with it, man. I can definitely need some extra dough on this. I definitely need to do so I can upgrade my cameras and stuff like that, so I can really do.
Well, listen, it's already 5-zip. Dave Lillard just hit a big 3, so I got to get out of here because I do not have time for this.
You already know. Knicks Talk Tuesdays, Fabian Perspective. That's our guy, special guest Turbo. You see all ball in the building.
I'm always here. You know me. I can talk all day. I can talk
That's
all day
right.
about my sports. You know that.
You already know. Next week, Knicks Talk Tuesdays, baby.
Have a good night.
Yes, sir.
All right, Turbo.
All right.